it came a little hard during the halftime show. Umbrellas were up. They put them up and stopped for a while. 6 minutes later, here it comes. It's a good downpour coming down right now. Do you think it's going to take an effect on this game, Joe?
It could take an effect on this ball game, but again, what we were watching right before the halftime break was the lightning, and that's what you don't want to happen because that's going to force a delay, and we could be here for a long period of time, and that will affect the way you strategize from a team perspective. Right now, you're setting it up for the third quarter. You get out of here, you do your things, but if you suddenly interrupt and have another 20, 30, 40-minute break, then your conditioning and all that changes as how you approach your play of the second half. Now, the Cougars are going to get the ball to start the second half, which is important for them to continue on with what they're doing, and that is leading the football game, controlling, making the Jaguars play catch-up. Jaguars need to get a stop, get their hands on the football, score, finish off one of those drives, and then we're in for a whale of a ball game down the finish.
We had a pretty quick half there for the first half of this game. We'll see what happens in the second half. There's a kickoff.
Kickoff fielded by the 20-yard line, about the 30-yard line, a 35 for the 40-yard line, out across the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Nice return that time by Mr. Whiteside. He don't want his hands on the football if you're a Jaguar, especially in the open field.
Takes it all the way down to the 45-yard line, so with only 5 seconds gone in the third quarter, it's going to be a 1st and 10, and field position's looking good for the Cougars. They're at their own 45-yard line.
Cougars offense did exactly what they needed to do in that first half. Once again, the 2 drives you talk about that finished with points. First one is short field position. Second one, sustained drive, assisted on a 48-yard run by one Adrian Alvarez. Alvarez and Whiteside have done most of the damage in the tailback spot, rotating in and out on a first down play. They'll hand it off and run it with Alvarez to the left-hand side. Bounces it, loses a couple of tacklers, stays on his feet, ends up gaining a couple. Went awkwardly backwards there before he was thrown down.
Yeah, pick up of 3 yards, call it a 2nd and 7 coming up for the Cougars. Again, Cougars first time they're touching the ball here in the second half of this game. We're down to under 11:30 left in the third quarter. First drive for the Cougars. First time the defense for the Jaguars is on the field. 2nd and 6, call it 6 coming up. Joe.
For the Cougars on 2nd down, they've got a shotgun formation once again for Guerrero. Play clock at 11:16 to go in the third quarter. Takes the snap, hands it off, running play left side. That's into Jaguar territory. Short of first down yardage, but another 4-yard gain. And it's going to bring up after a Whiteside carry, 3rd and a couple.
Yeah, 3rd and 2 coming up for the Cougars. We're under 11 minutes left in the third quarter. Still the score, Edinburg North Cougars 13, and the Canaminas Jaguars 0. We'll see what happens here. We have a 3rd and short coming up for the Cougars. Joe.
And the Cougars have it once again. This is the opening drive of the third quarter. Cougars took the opening kickoff, returned it out in good shape to start the drive, and now are trying to do something with it in the opposition's side of the midfield stripe as they are 3rd down from the 47 of the Jaguars. Running play. First down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Platooning once again with Alvarez, and this time it's Matt Whitesides again.
A pickup of a little first down. So, Paul, one more time for the Cougars. Move those chains. First down picked up by the Cougars in the second half. We'll wait and see what's going to happen here, but it looks good for the Cougars. They're coming off, and the best thing, Joe, Paul, the clock is running.
Yeah, with a 13-0 lead, a long sustained drive here, take off some clock and put points on the board would go a long way to Edinburg North securing a victory. Driving rain here to start the third quarter, by the way. 10:16 to go. Shotgun formation once again for Guerrero. Takes a snap, hands the ball off. Running play left side. It's Alvarez. Dances it across the 40-yard line and dropped to the 39. That's a good 5-yard carry on first down by Adrian Alvarez.
5 is right there, Joseph. Call it 2nd and 5 coming up. We're under 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Cougars doing what they wanted to do is run the clock, keep the ball, and maybe go put some points on the board. For right now, it's still Edinburg North Cougars 13, Jaguars 0. We have a 2nd and 5 coming up from the 39-yard line.
On 2nd and 5, here they go for the play from the sideline. Still looking there as they line it up with the 2 receiver set and a little miscommunication. They'll have to call a timeout. 9:35 to go. Third quarter action, 13-0 Cougars leading the Jaguars here on ValleyCentral.com.
Timeout about the Jaguars there, and you saw Paul a little limping and players getting mixed up there on the defensive side. One went finally down there on the line. Did you see that? Pick up anything there, Paul?
I did not. It was quite a scrum in there. In other words, a lot of bodies. I think he was at the bottom of it. I think it was just a matter of him getting squashed, guys.
Okay,
see
second
that
and 5.
rain coming down once again. Once you watch this on video, you'll be able to see what we're talking about here. Those of you on audio, yeah, it's raining in the valley, and it's off and on extremely hard in certain places. I know earlier they had a lightning delay in Brownsville. We had a little lightning popping around here towards halftime of our game. Hasn't caused the delay, but right now it's all rain, and it's coming down in buckets here at Edinburg.
Joe, to get a delay, we're going to have to, the lightning has to be within what distance?
I think it's 3 miles is what the rule is.
3
mile radius.
Yeah.
They got that little contraption that gauges how far it is, and then, again, it sets a timer by UIL rules. It says 20 minutes from that strike. We exit the place, get people out of the stands, start the clock at 20 minutes from the last lightning strike scene, and then you bring the fans back, and then you bring the teams back on and let them warm up. So, yeah, we would be in for a lengthy delay, probably an hour at best. If there was a lightning strike that were to occur within 3 miles.
Player off on his own. That's good for the Jaguars. They'll bring up the 2nd and 5 coming up for the North Cougars. They're at the 39-yard line of the Jaguars.
Whitesides lines up as the deep back in this formation. Once again, 2 receivers left, single receiver right for Edinburg North. Cougars on 2nd and 5. Guerrero waits for the snap. 9 on the play clock. Takes the snap. Keeps it himself, running left-hand side, uses a blocker, drugged down as he might have gained a half yard, probably lost a half yard.
Yeah, you're right there, Joe. Maybe a loss of a half yard, if not a whole yard. Call it 3rd and 6 coming up for the Cougars. Big third down play coming up, gentlemen.
On 3rd down, the Cougars have converted a couple of times here tonight. They also converted on a big 4th down earlier in this ball game, when they were handed the football inside the 20-yard line on a mishandled punt that led to the first points of the night. That was a 4th down play in which they put points on the board. Shotgun formation here on 3rd and 6 from the 40 of the Jaguars. And again, they look to the sidelines. We're going to get another timeout.
Timeout this time called by the Cougars. And I think it's a big play here, Joe. And you better have the right personnel and the right call on the field before you run this play. And Roy Garza decided to take a timeout to make sure that the right personnel and the right play is being called. So with 8:55, we have a timeout on the field. Once again, Donut Salinas, Joe Bowling, Paul Osbury, joining you from Edinburg, Texas. We're live at Edinburg Cat Stadium. Of course, audio, you can see the game about an hour after the game. Just tune in to valleycentral.com, go to sports, go to live screening, and you'll see us there with in Edinburg. That's 1 hour after the game. You'll see the video and hear the audio, of course. Still the score, if you're just joining us, it's the Edinburg North Cougars 13 and the Jaguars 0. Cougars picked up the ball for the first time in the second half. They're still driving. They picked it up with a good field position at the 37-yard line. They're already quickly at the 40-yard line, that is, of the Jaguars. We have a big 3rd and 6 coming up. Joe.
Cougars with the football once again. 3rd down play here in the 3rd quarter. Thanks again for joining us. Rain coming down. Matt, Paul, I want to talk to you here in a little bit about how big this is a swing for Edinburg North to try to get points on the board here versus if Edinburg Economides can make this stick on the defensive stand. We'll find out what happens here. This is go a long way to describing that in 3rd down. Running play, and that's going to be inside the 35, stretching forward close to first down yardage. Alvarez. All right, Paul, how important is it for Edinburg North and for Economides to look at points on the board or not allowing points on the board on this drive right here to start the 3rd?
Economides is fighting for their life. What they don't want is for the Cougars to get any more points on the board. They'd love to hold them to 3 or less, but I'll tell you what, the Cougars are just driving it down their throat. For the Cougars to get some more points on the board, get a little cushion, a little more breathing room, you can kind of exhale a little bit. For the Jaguars on the other end, they'll be really in a big old hole if they can score again.
And it's going to be close enough for a measurement, don't it?
Well, Coach Garza asking for a measurement. The ref is trying to explain to Coach Garza, Coach, that the stick is on the line, the ball's short of the line, so why do you want to, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be short, and he's not going to get the measurement. Again, I mean, it's pretty simple. When the ref can see that the stick is right on the line or something, for a ref to see that, he can't, deny the bring in the change. Let's get this going. It's raining. So, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong there by the ref. Here we go. 4th and inches coming up for the Cougars. We're down to 4:40 and counting left in the 3rd quarter.
Alvarez and Whitesides both averaging over 7 yards per carry on the night. Let's see who gets it here on this 4th down play. Shotgun formation. They crowd the line of scrimmage. Running play, and that's a 1st down and more. Whitesides breaks it inside the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown. Touchdown on 4th down.
Cougars, Joe. And that was a big play. They stacked it up. They came short. does great cutbacks. If we can, you're going to take us to a replay in a minute, Joe. But for right now, it's another 6 points for the Cougars. So with 8:22 left in the third quarter, it is now Edinburg North Cougars 19 and the Jaguars 0 point after coming right here. Joe, take us through it.
That was a 34-yard run by Matt Whiteside as the Jaguars had everything stacked up, and he busted through the initial run, and then he was good. Well, good thing we got the video monitor here because we got umbrellas in our way, but that's okay. We're good as they get ready for this extra point. Snap back, ball down, kick up long, high, and it's good. And the Cougars did what they wanted. Started the third quarter, opening drive, points on the board, 20-0 they lead.
And they took about 4 minutes off the clock. We're going to do a little shout-out going out to Jacob. Jacob, how you doing? Hope you're enjoying the game. I know you're just hearing it right now. You will. Take us to the replay, Joe.
Well, once again, once they got through that initial line, there was nobody in the secondary because everyone was up on the line and trying to stop that short yardage play. And the hole opened up, and Whiteside from there, it was pretty easy sailing, right? There was the last guy that had a chance. Everyone else is already on the line. There's nobody back there for protection. Easy score for Whiteside. He goes over 100 yards now in rushing.
So once again, Jacob, a little shout out going out to you, Marco, Kyra, your little sister, your parents. I'm glad the weather doesn't permit these kids to be out as well. But thanks to ValleyCentral.com, they're at home and they're enjoying the game on audio right now. They'll watch the game an hour after the game. Jacob, enjoy the game. Here we go. 8:22 left, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, in case you're just joining us, it's Donut Salinas. We got Paul Osbury and Joe Bowling joining us. Paul, you got something for us, Paul? Go ahead.
Yes, gentlemen. I just wanted to show you how the Cougars are having success on this particular play. You have this lineman coming up. This lineman's going to pull, kick him out. You have these two guys double team. He goes up against the linebacker, hands it up. There's your alley. That's how the Cougars have been getting yards tonight, boys. Right there. That's the play right there.
And there was nobody in the secondary after they busted through that and used those blocks as diagrammed there on the sidelines by Paul Alsbury. Here we go. Kickoff time for the Cougars, and away they go. It's a high, short kick. Going to be a fair catch called for and made at the 33-yard line. Jaguars going to have to go to work now, down 20-0.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for them. It'll be at the 25-yard line. The ball will be spotted. And, Joe, how big is this drive right here?
Well, this is a key factor here. You got to put points on the board if you're the Jaguars. You can't afford to have one of those drives that ends with no points and a short yardage situation, get in the red zone. It's time to put points on the board if you're offense. You did some things at halftime. You talked about what you want to do. Execute. See what they do.
Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Alvarez, quick snap, quick handoff, left-hand side, and that goes for very few yards. Alfonso Barrera on the carry, might have gained 2.
We'll give him 2 yards on that carry, Joe. You're right. It's going to be 2nd and 8, call it, and they'll be at the 37-yard line. And, ladies and gentlemen, we're under 8 minutes in the third quarter. The Cougars took 4 minutes off the clock, almost 4 minutes off the clock there, and put up 7 points on the board. That was a big drive by the Cougars. The rain, Joe, starting to come down a little heavier now.
Coming down heavy, going to help the guys that can run the football. And right now, the Cougars have established that they are running the ball well. Jaguars trying to throw now. Loft a pass down the left sideline. That's going to be overthrown, incomplete. Looking for Hugo Reyes Paz. Incompleted pass, overthrown, and somebody took a big hit at the end of that. Quarterback down, it looks like.
We got no flags down on that play. I guess it was a clean hit there. But for right now, there's a timeout on the field. We're going to take a timeout ourselves just to get away from the field. But we're going to let you know we'll stay on audio, of course, like always, with ValleyCentral.com. Well, Joe, right now, 7:44 left. 3rd and 7 coming up quickly on their first possession for the Jags, and they're down now 20 points.
20 points, and the first thing you want to do is find out if indeed that was their quarterback, and I think it was. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden you're looking at Hugo Reyes Paz, who dropped in at quarterback last year. Will he be thrown in to become the quarterback? Is the other backup quarterback ready to roll? Because that's the first thing you look at is, okay, we're still 3rd down. Our offense is still on the field, and this is a critical drive. If we want to stay in this ball game, we need somebody in there and ready to not just take a snap, hand the ball off. We need to drive, take a snap, execute, get us a 1st down. Let's move on.
Yeah, and Joe, we saw it last year when Hugo Paiza, when they tried something different, they put number 88, their main, I think tonight's been one of their main receivers.
Donatello Areola.
We've seen him at quarterback also, and they took Pais to be the receiver. We'll wait and see what's going to happen. For right now, we're just hoping everything's going to be fine down on the field. Once again, it is 7:44 left in the third quarter. It's the Edinburg North Cougars, 20 points, and the Jaguars 0. Both teams sitting at 2-0 with the district opener tonight here in Edinburg. Paul.
Gentlemen, you're correct about that, and I'm not sure exactly who's down on the field. He did take a tremendous hit, but I'll tell you what, the Jaguars are trying to find an answer. I don't know if they've got it because the Cougar defense has rallied. You can hear the student body. Of course, they calmed down because of the potential injury, but you can see the players rallying the students, and I don't know if the Cougars can be stopped, gentlemen.
Well, what you got now is a defense that is all of a sudden looking at a team that has to throw the ball more than run it, and you can start teeing off on that pass rush, especially when you got a secondary that already has a couple of picks tonight. This Edinburg North defense, it's good, and now when they get hungry and they start not having to guess whether you're going to run, pass, and they can chime in on, okay, let's go after the quarterback. Bad news.
Yeah, things are looking even better for the Cougars, not looking good for the Jags on their side of the field. We still have a gentleman down on the field. So, Joe, it's a big point you brought up earlier in the evening was that this defense last year going through a big game the way they did against Steele, you really, and I see your point now, and it's true. I hadn't realized that, and you explaining to me why you felt that way about it. It means a lot that these kids have been through a huge game and have played against some major talent out there in a game like that.
They were up against Division I playmakers, which has been the doom of the Valley for years and years and years. When you run into a team that's got one, they've been able to master that and get over that from time to time. When you run against a juggernaut, such as the case was last year with several, then it's usually been super bad things. But what you look at, again, it got lost, is that in the first quarter, into the second quarter, this team held them in check. And there was a couple of big plays, and obviously you expect big plays, but what you look at is that, like I talked to Coach about this evening, if that can be done for a quarter, then you can convince your defense, keep executing, keep making the plays. Teams are going to adjust on you, but if you can somehow, as a player gets up and is going to be assisted off the field, by the way, but if you can do that for 4 quarters, suddenly you start believing that you can win ball games, that everyone in the world is going to write you off saying there's no way. Well, the defense can make a difference.
Yeah, and that was 8 guys returning from last year's team, so I got your point, and that's a big point to bring up, Joe, and you can see it. We've seen it already for 3 weeks now by the Cougar defense.
Yeah, and let me interject there. By no means am I saying that Edinburg North was better than Steele last year. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying that their defense played at times well enough that they can keep a team in a football game, and if the offense can find some things that they can exploit on another team, suddenly you get in a outright alley fight with just about 2 inches separating the two guys and waylay away. You never know what happens in a 7-6 squeaker.
Yeah, it was a great game, and again, that experience you're talking about, it's got to be at another level for these kids to be involved in a game like that. We're going to go back to action now. The player was helped by some people, but he's going to be all right. We got 7:35 and counting.
And it was not Alvarez that was injured. He stays in the ball game, fires a pass over the middle, and that's going to be caught. They'll give up some ground. They had a first down. They just gave it up, though, and now it's going to be 4th down decision time for the Jaguars. Zone it.
Well, you're exactly right. He was about a yard and a half or 2, but on his own, went back the other way and tried to get more and came up, what it seems to me is we got a first down without a measurement, and Coach Garza is very upset. You can see Coach Garza on that call. Again, the ball was moved. They had a spot. They moved it a little bit further down. They didn't have a measurement, and he called for a first down.
Now let's go to the sideline. Now let's go to the sideline. Paul, did that guy have a first down or not?
I couldn't see it from my viewpoint, gentlemen, but I'll tell you what, the ref is never wrong, right?
There you go. First down play for the Jaguars. That's a broken play up the middle inside Cougar territory to the 49, and that was nearly broken to the house.
Pick up another 5.5 yards. Paul, we missed it, but one more time.
Move those chains.
2nd and 5 coming up. We're down to 6:35 and counting. Joe, is it very important to get some points quickly on the board?
It's more important than anything on the field right now for the Jaguars that they put points on the board with this drive. Another player down, and I'm not sure if this is cramping or what's going on now by the Jaguars. Driving rain, but still warm conditions and humid conditions can lead to some cramping. You're getting wet. You forget about getting that hydration going and drinking water and fluids, and suddenly you get this cramping. Not sure if that's what the case is, but it could be.
Rain now stopped completely, Paul, on the field. There's no rain?
The rain has stopped, but I'll tell you what, gentlemen, they're working on his upper body. Looks like they're working on his right arm, if not right shoulder. It's not a cramp, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you, Paul, there for the report. Paul Osbury out on the field helping us tonight. Thank you very much, Paul. So it's still 6:37 left in the third quarter. Second, it's going to be the first time the Jags actually touched the ball. The Cougars got the ball to start the second half, and they went down the field, took 4 minutes off the clock, and scored 7 points to put them up 20-0. Now, Economia is trying to make their own statement right here by doing something, and I think it's going to be big for them to do something here. It's at 2nd and 5. They're sitting right at midfield, and it's going to be a 2nd and 5 coming up for the Jaguars. Joe.
Jaguars with the football, again down 20-0. We're in the third quarter as at Edinburg Stadium, Cat Stadium tonight. Packed house, and a lot of them stuck around despite the fact of this rain that came in big bunches in that halftime break. Running play, Alvarez pitches it to the outside, trying to bounce it out there as Gary turns the corner and hit, and down he goes. He gained a yard. Perfect execution that time on the defense by the Cougars.
Again, a lot of plays looking good, Paul. Then it looks like we're going to get to the outside. All of a sudden, they get stopped there quick. For some reason, they just can't get to the outside.
You know, you're right about that, don't it? It's of course, it's a scheme. It's a constant chess match. I believe, from my viewpoint, what the Cougars are doing is they're saying we're going to give you the edge. In other words, there's just a little bit of daylight, but if you have the proper pursuit from the linebackers, they'll close that up. That's what happened on that play.
3rd and 5 coming up. Big play there at midfield.
On third down, under center, Alvarez waits for the snap. Man in motion, right to left. Alvarez on a play action, throws it over the middle. That's going to be dropped. Incompleted pass. He had his man. Ariola would have had enough for a first down. 4th down coming up for the Jaguars, and it looks like they're sending the punting team right in.
He would have picked up 6. They needed 5. You're right, Joe. It would have been enough for a first down. Nevertheless, it falls incomplete, so we're down to 5:42, and it looks like if the Jags are going to punt. We'll wait and see. You've known Coach Pena for 3 years. Believe me, you never know when he's going to punt. Here we go. It's going to be 4th and 5, 5:42 left in the third quarter. First time the Jags touched the ball. They did manage to pick up 1 first down, and now they're punting. Here we go, Joe.
Alex Chavez back to return this punt for the Cougars. Snap gets away, kick is away. It's a high short kick, and it's away from the return man. Going to take a Economides bounce inside the 25 and roll dead at about the 22 of the Cougars. That's where they'll take over. Clock on their side, scoreboard definitely on their side. They lead 20-0.
Like Joe calls the defense, and Paul explained about the defense. It's been a good defense by the Cougars. Once again, they hold the Jaguars to just 1 first down. We're down to 5:31, ladies and gentlemen, in the third quarter, and it's still Edinburg North Cougars 20, Economides Jags 0. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Not bad field position, Joe. They're at the 22-yard line.
Good field position, and again, they've got that running tandem of Alvarez and Whiteside that's been working and working and working all night long. Already Whiteside's over 100 yards. Alvarez on the verge of doing the same thing. Running play, and that's going to be Alvarez out across the 25-yard line. He'll gain close to 5 yards on first down.
We'll call it 5. You're right, Joe. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up for the North Cougars. And again, the best thing that's going on for the Cougars right now is that clock is running.
Looks more importantly on that defensive side, they can send a message across the board in this district if they can maintain this shutout, because people know Economides is going to put some points on the board. If they look up at a goose egg, it's a big statement across the board in this big ball game. 5 minutes left here in the third. Out of a shotgun formation on 2nd and 5. Guerrero takes it. Quick handoff, running left-hand side, and then a big hit delivered. Whiteside will be dropped at the 29. Third down coming up for Edinburg North.
Like Kevin Nato calls it, it's going to be a 3rd and manageable for the Cougars. We'll wait and see what happens. It'll be 3rd and, what is it, Joe, about 2 yards?
About 2.5, 3 yards to go. But again, you're averaging, well, let's just look at it. Alvarez averaging 11 yards per carry. Whiteside's averaging 9 yards per carry. So that's it's easy pickings if you take.
You know who's going to get the ball, I guess, huh?
The deep back, whichever one it is, it's his turn. They're platooning in, keeping both of them fresh, and both having a successful night tonight. Alvarez, a deep back on this third down play. He'll take it this time and run it right side. Bounces it to the 33, 34, enough for a first down. Chains move, a hit delivered way out of the action. But again, another first down. Alvarez moves the chains.
Paul, one more time. Move those chains. Hey, thank you, Joe, there. I was watching the action going on the field and forgot about that, but Joe's going to remind us, I guarantee you. We're down to 4 minutes. Start the chains. Start the clock again. The chains have been set. We'll go under 4 minutes before we get this playoff.
David Enzaldua was the guy that got hit, and that's what grew the big groan from the Cougars. He's a big boy to be knocked down. I didn't see the hit, but somebody's got to deliver a hit to drop him. Running play again for the Cougars. Out across the 35. Now they'll bounce it back to the outside. Whiteside trying to get something out of this. He'll lose a couple. That's a lot of exciting play, and no gain on the play.
No
maybe
gain.
a loss.
Maybe a loss of 2, maybe 1 yard for sure. He had to pick up maybe of 1.5. He tried to make something big out of it, and he came up losing 1 yard. So call it a 2nd and 11 coming up for the Cougars. Joe, talking about the defense, I was at the school on Tuesday. Some of these players wanted to make sure that we let people know that when they won and gave up 7 points, it was the offense that got intercepted and the ball. So still, nobody yet to score on this defense.
No, they haven't given up anything yet, and I think that's that's what I talked about all preseason. It's what I'll talk about until somebody figures out a way to put points on the board, and I'm not sure who it's going to be just yet. Second down play, pass play, right side, and that's a diving catch. It's a very short gain, maybe 2, on a quick catch to Alex Chavez. First time we said his name tonight, catching a pass as a receiver.
Down to 2:50 and counting, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a big 3rd and 10 coming up for the Cougars. Nothing but more bigger than it is for the defense on the Jaguar side. They could get the ball back at least with some time left in the 3rd quarter. But ladies and gentlemen, Joe and Paul, we might be running out of time here in the 3rd quarter.
Certainly it looks that way on my side. We'll get a chime in from Paul here after this next snap. This is a 3rd down and long, and it's been very rare that I've said that, with Edinburg North on the field, unless they've had some penalties in which they did that. Now, here, speaking of penalties, timeout just before they lost the play clock there. Paul, what do you see down there as far as
the Jaguars have made an adjustment.
Here we go, Paul.
What's happening now is this: instead of this guy going outside, they're bringing him down, and this coming outside. So when this player comes around and looks for the corner, he's looking for him. He's not there, and it's getting bottled up. The Jaguars made a great defensive adjustment, gentlemen.
That's why those last 2 carries did not work for the running of the Cougars, and that's why, they called timeout for 2 things. Play clock was running down, and they're probably talking about that very thing. Listen, if that guy's not there, then boom, it's your assignment, and you go get him.
Somebody better get him because they're not getting any yards here on the past 2 plays here. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 coming up. We're down to 2:17. Quick quarter gone by here in Edinburgh, Texas. We're at Edinburgh Cat Stadium once again. In case you're just joining us, it's Edinburgh North Cougars 20 and the Canaminas Jaguars 0. We're down to 2:17 left in the 3rd once again. Paul Osbury, Joe Bowling, and Donna Salinas, of course, coming to you live audio with ValleyCentral.com.
Jaguars, of course, next week will take on Edinburg Vela, and this Edinburgh North team will take on, I believe it's Juarez Lincoln, as they'll be trying to go, well, at this point, the way they're looking, they'll be looking to go 4-0. Jaguars will be looking to get back on the winning track, and how about it'll be a couple of 2-1s. We'll get to that in the 4th quarter. If we get there, we'll start discussing that. 3rd down and 10 now after the timeout. Cougars see a blitz coming, a lot of movement up front, penalty.
And who moved? I'm pretty sure everybody
Big
saw
boy
it.
Harrell, big boy.
Number 79, a little quick there, jumping on the play. It'll be 5 yards back, so call it 3rd and 15 coming up.
David Anzaldua once again, and there's a lot of people that'll be glad to see that senior graduate because he is a heavy load coming at you delivering that block.
Here we go, 3rd and 15. Joe, take it away. It's 2:15.
15 yards to go from the 29-yard line. Cougars leading 20-0 as Edinburgh North has led throughout. More lightning coming. I don't like to see that. Hope that's far away. 2:16 to go. Out of the shotgun once again. Guerrero sees a blitz coming either corner. Takes it. Handoff. Whiteside hit. Wrapped up. Down he goes. Defender scissor locked him and tackled him that time.
Yep. No gain. Maybe a loss of 1 or 2 on the play, so it's going to be 3rd and 17. This is what the Jaguars needed, something the Cougars didn't want to do. They're going to give them the ball with time left in the 3rd quarter, but it's going to be very little time left in the 3rd quarter. It is still Edinburgh North Cougars 20, Jaguars 0. Joe, you want to get to next week's maybe possible game?
We'll get to that in a minute. Let's discuss here what could potentially happen. Jaguars opened the door with a special team miscue. Now, special teams could come up with a big play here. Returnable punt, possibly. Spiraling kick, and it's a dandy. Return man has to backpedal, get it at his 30, gives up ground, changes direction on the field, crosses the field right to left, and they will take him out of bounds. So the Cougars do that well, too. Penalty late in that one. A late hit comes out. Now, let's talk about Vela. Okay, they believe they can win that football game. They believed it after last night, and watching tonight, they're going to say, hey, look what Edinburgh North did. We can do some similar things, and we can run the football. Well, let's go get them.
And you're right, Joe. You know, the one thing in talking to Coach Mayo, that the attitude they wanted to change was, hey, last year we lost, get ready for another loss. Get ready for another loss. get ready for another loss. And then they came back this year. They won their first game, and they said, let's change the attitude now. Let's get ready for another win. They had a big game. The team they played last night, La Jolla, had won 63-0 or something the week before. La Jolla maybe thought they were going to come in here and go out with a first district win. It didn't happen, Joe. I talked to Coach Salinas, and he says, Donut, we got better. We got better. And, he was right.
And he said they were resilient all last year. Despite losing, they were resilient. They bounced back and focused forward, and now winning, they're focusing forward. Penalty was against the Jaguars. Now they'll throw the ball over the middle. That's going to be caught at the 29-yard line. First down, so the penalty was after they had obtained the first down, but now on first down, short game.
Pick up a 4 or 5 yards, call it 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up. Joe, they lost 15 yards on that field position that they could have been sitting a lot better. Nevertheless, they went back, so they went back to their own 25 instead of, I believe, they were about the 36, 37. And it'll be 2nd and 5. They're at the 30-yard line. That is on their own side of the field.
After the punt return, they had the penalty, and now they are. 2nd down and 5 yards to go for the Jaguars. Run the ball, and there's a penalty on this one.
It's going to be a free down. It looks like it's going to be offsides on the Cougars. They let the play go, and so it'll give them a first down according to the scoreboard there. 2nd and 5. 5 yards should give them a first down. We'll wait and see what the call is going to be. Here comes the call.
And here comes the rain, or at least people are expecting rain. It's kind of funny because the rain's coming across the field, so the Edinburg North fans get about 10-second delay when they see the umbrellas go up on the other side of the field. They get theirs out, and so they're well prepared. Nobody warns the Jaguar fans that the rain's coming, but the Cougars, advantage home team tonight in Edinburg, both playing at home, but the home side gets the advantage.
All the way through, just even with the warning of the rain. You're right there, Joe. We're down to 45 seconds and counting the third quarter. Still Cougars 20, Jaguars 0.
On this first down play, Jaguars with the football, man in motion right to left. They'll fake the handoff, play action, look to throw the ball down the left-hand side. It's going to be up for grab. Caught inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. It's Ariola again, and that is a penalty at the end of it as well.
Here we go, another flag, and it's going to go another 15 yards. We'll wait and see what the call is going to be. More than likely, it's going to be, it seems like it's going to be against the Cougars. We'll wait and see. Canamis cannot handle a 15-yarder right now. We'll wait and see what's going to happen. For right now, it's going to be
now another penalty comes.
Another flag.
These are both going to be against Edinburg North.
Yeah, and again, I can just imagine how mad, using the word mad is all I'm going to use. I would rather use something, but
might expect a timeout. He's got 31 seconds before the quarter break. He may not wait that long to take this little short break out there and talk to his defense.
Cannot believe what's going on right now. Again, he's out there, I'm pretty sure, talking to his kids, not talking to the refs, but the refs will come give Coach Garza some sort of explanation on these two flags. It seems to me they might be offsetting. We'll wait and see here, Joe.
We'll see. The Jaguars were starting to walk backwards as if the penalty was against them. And then as the officials were getting it sorted out, somebody said a magic word, obviously on the Edinburg North side, and that's when the next penalty flag came raining in. So we'll see if this official starts doing his imitation of the guards at Buckingham Palace, marching one way, turning around, marching the other.
Both coaches upset now. At the beginning, it was only Coach Garza on the field. Now we got Coach Peña and some of his crew on the field. Passed it down. Coach Garza all the way to the hash marks. He said, must be he's going to call a timeout. Well, wait, here comes the call.
Offsetting penalties, I believe.
Take us to the call, Joe.
Well, Chains still talking about that call. We got to wait for the officials to give us some kind of sign up here towards our camera at the press box. Again, the football is spotted at the 32. Chains are set. They did mark the chains down, which is where the play ended. So here comes the first call, which is going to be unsportsmanlike against the Jaguars. And the second call, same call against the Cougars. Slap on the hand, set the chains, 31 seconds, let's go to work.
More than likely, it was going to be a little too much celebration by number 88 there on that catch. He's had a good night, but you're not allowed to be doing that in high school football especially. So it's going to, and it could have hurt him, bringing him back all the way down to the 47, but the Cougars came back and said a little magic word, like you say, Joe, so it gave him back the 15 yards. So we'll start.
It happened late. After everything was sorted out, after the penalty was already established, they were getting ready to mark off the yardage. Now, on a first down play, penalty again from the sideline.
And I think that's going to be on the coaches. We'll wait and see. Maybe he moved the ball. I don't know. But, ladies and gentlemen, here comes a lot of flags. And I think it was against the Jags. And Coach Peña is just, I mean, you can understand the frustration going on. There's been a lot of flags thrown tonight, folks. It is going to go 5 yards against the Jags. They lined up offsides, and then they tried moving after they were set, so it's going to take them back 5. Paul, what's it like down there?
Well, gentlemen, the rain is, I don't even know if you can call it rain. It's pretty light at this point, but I was standing over there on the Jaguar. I was passing by the Jaguar sideline, and I'll tell you what, you can hear the panic. I mean, they're not believing it. They're not feeling it. You can hear the panic in their voice.
First and 15, final play of the third quarter, most likely. 7 seconds and counting now. Under center, Alvarez sends a man in motion, takes the snap off, hands it off. Running play right side, tripped up, no gain. End of 3.
After 3 quarters of play, ladies and gentlemen, Donis Salinas, Joe Bowling, Paul Osbury, it's going to be right now after 3 quarters of football in Edinburg Cat Stadium. It is the Edinburg North Cougars 20, Edinburg Calaminas Jaguars 0. Joe, is it time to either you put something or might as well, look at going 2-1?
Well, if the Jaguars, high school football, you can still score 20 points. Can you do it against this kind of defense? Not sure. Do you open up the playbook? That's what the question is. Or do you just try to execute what you do best and try to get better at it? Because obviously this is just the first game of the district. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, this is a team, fans, if you're just tuning in, that had been intercepted once in the end zone when they had the ball down for a scoring chance. Fumbled it twice inside the red zone. 3 scoring opportunities. We could very well be looking that the Cougars would be down 1 right now if the Jaguars would have executed.
And got intercepted at about the 11-yard line on another drive, Joe. So you're right. The score could be the other way around, or them being down by 1 point, them being up by 1 point.
Now we'll see what they do here on second down. About 14 yards to go from the 36-yard line of the Cougars. Run it. That goes nowhere. Ramirez got to the line of scrimmage, and he was met head on and went down.
They're giving him 1 yard on the forward part, make it a 3rd and 14, and I believe they'll be going for 2 downs here. We'll wait and see what Coach Peña decides to do, but I'm pretty sure he will. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 11:40 left in this ball game. It's still Edinburg North Cougars 20, Jaguars 0.
How about the wind, Paul? Is it still blowing as hard as it was at the offset of this game?
Great question, Joe. And no, sir, it has calmed down a little bit. It still is effective, but it's definitely not blowing as hard as the beginning of the game.
So Alvarez, we'll see if he goes in the air and hopefully not be affected by that wind. Looks for a play action over the middle, has a ball up for grabs, incomplete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different defenders, 1 receiver. Fortunate for the Jaguars, they get another down.
We got a 4th and 13 coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Big play, huge play for the Jags. Here we go. Another big play for the defense also on the Cougar side.
Cougars again, use the old analogy, they've bent, they haven't broken, and that's been the case all night long. Offense have been given some gifts, also taking advantage of some good blocking as that offensive line has established the line of scrimmage from the word go. 4th down play, shotgun formation for Alvarez. They need to get it to the 23 to get a first down. Rolls out to the right side to buy some time. Fires a pass, it's a low pass, caught, well short of a first down. Big hit delivered at the 30-yard line, and the Edinburg North Cougars defense stops them again and takes over.
They needed 13, they got 5 on the play, so it's going to be Cougar ball on down. So with 10:58 and counting, I don't know why counting, we have the change of possession there, but I'm sure the Cougars don't mind, I'm sure we don't mind, I'm sure the fans don't mind. That clock, okay, you got to stop now, Joe. Here we go. We're down to 10:51 left in the ball game. Cougars take over. It's going to be the second time. That 3rd time they touched the ball here in the second half, and they're up 20-0, 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
And that's what they hope to do is, again, limit the possessions of the Jaguars and do it with controlled offensive drives. Running play and a big gainer again. Across the 35, looking for a block at the 40. 45-yard line, that's Whitesides again. Stopped at the 47, and that's a 17-yard gain.
We'll call it the 48, Joe. And this kid, I mean, Joe, we've seen him last year as a junior, and you knew he was so excited all summer. I saw him there around the school during the summer, and let me tell you what, that kid was excited about coming back and playing his senior year.
1st and 10, Whiteside's well over 100 yards rushing tonight. And now it's The Cougars with the football just shy of the midfield stripe of their own 48. Another shotgun formation for Guerrero. And he'll take it, turn it, hand it off. Alvarez turns it inside the 49 of the Jaguars. A gang tackle there, but that's another 5 yards for Adrian Alvarez.
Call it, pick up a 5-yard right there, Joe. It's going to be 2nd and 5 coming up. Already they're on the on the Jaguars side of the field. We're down to 10-10 left in this ball game, ladies and gentlemen. And it seems to me, Joe, like we're going to go into that game with these Jaguars being 0-1 in district against the SaberCats that are 1-0 in district.
They are believers that they can win football games. It's not the 0-for-10ers that's coming at you next week. If you're the Jaguars, you got a team that's coming in here wanting to go 3-1. Running play, they'll blow it dead. Penalty flag on the play.
Now, Joe, talking about, I asked you a question, and I asked a few people today, and they basically answered the way you did. Do you want a team that just lost its district opener after winning the first 2 games, or do you want a team that's a little high and won their 3rd game in a row?
Well, what they wanted, when I talked to the coach, was they wanted a beat-up team. Right. They wanted a team that was going to come in here and go to war with Edinburg North and get beat up. Okay, now, and I think they're going to get bruised up. I don't think they're beat up. But do they want a team that lost? No, because they're going to get real hungry for a win next week. They'll be ready for Vela. Don't kid yourself.
2nd and 9 coming up, Joe.
Running play, Whiteside. Again, sidesteps a man, and another. Seeps on his feet to the 45, penalty flag. Looks like a face mask on this one. He'll gain 7, though. Again, Whiteside, if that sticks.
Very close to a first down, but it doesn't matter. They're going to give it to him on the face mask. Ladies and gentlemen, now, if you just grab it, you don't need to bring him down with it. If you just grab it, you're going to get flagged for those 15. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the call. It did turn his head sideways when the gentleman grabbed it. We'll wait and see what the call is going to be. For right now, it looks like it's still going to be a first down for the Cougars, but here comes the call. We're going to wait and see what the call is.
Matt Whitesides and Adrian Alvarez, both over 100 yards rushing. Look for me to have both of them on our post-game report when we are coming to you live on Action 4 tonight here from Edinburg. Go down there and stand in the rain just as Paul has done all night long. So I'm not going to complain long, okay? But yeah, look for me to get Alvarez and Whiteside on the interview as we do our post-game show live on Action 4.
Once again, call it 15 yards. Paul, move those chains,
Cougars.
And that'll take us under 9:15 before we start the play. I'm sure they'll start it once they set the chains. Here we go. There he goes. Clock going. Once again, Cougars already at the 28-yard line of the Jaguars. They're going to put more points on the board. They're already up 20-0.
Kudos to both sets of fans who have stuck it out here tonight in the driving rain for the most part of this second half. A lot of them still here in the stands, winning side and losing side of the scoreboard. On first down, they let the play clock go all the way down to 1. Get the snap off at the 0 mark. Alvarez running loose into the secondary. First down, he'll gain 12 more down to the 18.
Paul, move those chains.
Once again,
Cougars doing it. And Joe, now I can almost say it's going to be a Cougar victory. And how big is it for a big game like this? And Coach, to me, and it was early, and I said, Coach, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I feel whoever wins this game is going to have a step up on the playoffs.
Obviously, the North team has their eyes on playoff and a long trip in those playoffs, and they're going to fine-tune this defense even more, and this offense is going to keep getting better and better. Alvarez and Whiteside doing the job tonight. Pass play, wide open in the corner of the end zone. Will they get it there in time? Yes, sir. Tipped incomplete. That was set up to perfection. Alex Chavez said, get here, ball, get here in a hurry. Dropped.
Yeah, and then that's a tough play because you're there just waiting and waiting and waiting. And he would have caught it if he hadn't gotten hit, but after he tipped it, like for a tip drill, he did get hit, and it took him out of the play. Ball falls incomplete, so that'll bring a 2nd and 10 coming up. Cougars at the 17-yard line of the Jaguars. We're down to 8:16 left in the ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the play that scares coaches that scout Edinburg North. It's like, okay, they're going to run the ball, and then you have to respect that they're going to play action, and you better make sure you don't fall asleep crowding the box and open up something like that. That's the one that scares them. Here's a 2nd down play for the Cougars. They'll run it this time. Whiteside bounces off a tackler. Penalty flag on the play. He'll gain 3. We'll see what the penalty's about.
Body going to come against the Cougars now. They didn't pick up nothing much there, gentlemen. Do you decline this ball or do you bring them back 10?
Oh, boy. I would decline it, gentlemen.
Second down and would be 20.
Looks like they're going to take it.
They'll take it. Here comes the rain once again.
Okay, so it's going to bring them back another 10. Call it a 2nd and 20 instead of 2nd and 10. And again, Joe, I think you're opening up the playbook here to the Edinburg Cougars to get a pass out here somewhere.
Well, it may pass it, they may not. They don't have to. They're up 20-0. And if you run the ball, you're going to take more time off of the clock. I think you've shown you can throw that ball. You've shown you can set up that play action. We'll see what they do here in a design pass play. This could be just a practice set, running play. They'll run it left tackle, and that will go nowhere. They stand up Whiteside, and he goes down. And this is when you start cringing when you're a coach on the sideline. That's one of your premier backs. He gets stood up, and guys hanging onto his legs when he gets thrown backwards. What point do you say? 7:46 to go. Whitesides, have a seat. You did a good job.
3rd and 20. Good call there, Joe. 3rd and 20 from the 27-yard line. We're down to 7:35 and counting. And I'm telling you, the Cougars are going to take that clock all the way down. And they might just take it all the way down to 1, ladies and gentlemen, and call a timeout. They have 1 left. I don't see them needing any more timeouts later in the game. So I think that's what Coach, there it is. Coach Costa telling the ref, hey, I want you to call a timeout when there's 1 second left. And there it is. There's the call. So with 7:14, the Cougars take their final timeout, but the Cougars sitting well with the Edinburg North Cougars up 20-0. Paul.
Yes, gentlemen, let's see if we get the camera over here. This is what the Cougars have countered on as far as adjustment. This is what they're doing. They're double teaming this guy right here, and they're pushing him back. They're calling the linebacker to have him make a choice to go this way or this way. If he goes this way, tailback cuts it up over here. If he goes this way, tailback cuts it up to the right. There's nothing the Jaguars can do, gentlemen.
Thank you, Paul. Joe?
If they do, they bring a safety up. If they bring the safety up, it opens up the passing game, and we could expand on that further and further and further. But again, nothing the Jaguars can do. You're right. The chess match is suddenly, they're being chased, and their king's about to be mated. 7:14 to go here in the ball game, down 20-0. 3rd down play coming up for the Cougars. Been reminding you on valleycentral.com, we've got a live audio/video game coming. That Harlingen and Rivera game was scheduled to kick off now at 11 o'clock from Sam Stadium in Brownsville. So it's a short turnaround for this guy, a quick night's sleep, and off to Brownsville to Sam Stadium.
You don't got to be ready for a tailgate there, Joe?
They haven't invited me to a tailgate there, but maybe this will get it started.
All right, here we go.
On 3rd down, play action, looking to throw over the middle. That's going to be overthrown, incomplete.
All right, we'll stop the clock with 7:09 left in the ball game. Cougars will be facing a 4th and 20 from the 27, 37, 40-yarder, maybe 45-yarder. Do we give it a shot here?
Yeah, and that again, you talk about a chess match of a coach. You know, you normally let the play clock run down to 1. You call the timeout. You're 3rd and 20. You think, okay, they're going to run the ball and use the timeout. Play action. Go for the juggler on that deep pass route and incompleted pass. Now they'll bring in a slight punting team. They may take a penalty out of this to give them a little more room to get this kick away.
Well, they want the clock to run, but it's not going to run on
the game clock's not. I think they're just going to try to give their punter a little more room.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty here.
Well, they were 1 man short to start off with it, but nevertheless, it's going to bring them back 5 more yards. So the Cougars will now be facing a 4th and 25 coming up, and I'm sure they don't mind that flag. The only thing bad about it that there was no clock running there.
And guys, you guys have scouted this team a lot more than I have as far as being there in person. What's up with the kicking game of the Cougars? No kicker that he can even give a shot for a field goal for this team, or what's the story?
Well, that's what it seems to be, and last year was the same thing. I think the main thing is that the getting set up for the kick. Paul.
Gentlemen, a great call, Joe. I'll tell you what, I just want to interject. It's a tremendous pleasure and honor working with you, Joe. Certainly you don't it, but Joe, a true professional, been doing it for a long time. I really enjoy your play call, and you called it beautifully about how they wanted to move back and give themselves a little more room. I appreciate you guys.
That's a punt that goes just into the end zone. They look for the coffin corner on the left side and just really got it. But now the Jaguars will take over 1st and 10, 7:03 to go in the ball game, down 20-0. And again, will this North team finish the job, cap off the shutout? That's what they're looking at now.
And Joe, let me tell you what, this defense, and talking to the coaches and some players on Tuesday, they're big on this, not giving up any points.
Well, and that's the thing that the Valley, the last few years that I've been covering football, we've had these offensive juggernauts, the Sherrylands, and the teams that just put up huge numbers of points. But we didn't have that defensive team. We had Harlingen a couple of years ago that had that big defense. But that's when you start looking at teams that can make the long runs in the playoffs. Who defensively can stop the athletes, and then we'll score some points on the side? Well, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Now, the points, they come. And the teams from San Antonio, when I go up and talk to coaches up there, they look at it. Oh, yeah, they score points, but it's against each other.
Yeah.
But when they start seeing guys shutting teams out week in, week out, and it's not 54 to 46 shootouts, then the attention gets more so on, hey, what do they got down there? Why are they keeping these teams off the scoreboard?
Hey, Paul, after this play, after Joe calls this play, I got a question for you.
I'm ready.
2nd and 15 for the Jaguars, and they'll run the ball, and that will go negative yards. Dropped at the 10-yard line as Cougar defense is chomping at the bit to finish this deal off.
Lost to 5, they make it call another. Lost to 5, it is going to be 3rd and 20. Paul, has there been a good defense here in the past in Edinburg?
I'm sorry, say that again, Donut.
Has there been a good defense you can talk about here in Edinburg in the past years?
Oh, this is tremendous, and I'm watching. What's going on right now is the Cougars have tasted blood, and they're bringing the house because the wind has shifted. For the Jaguars to throw, it's directly in their face, so they're bringing the house, gentlemen.
3rd down and just shy of forever. Football on the 10-yard line. They're going to get it out there to the 30-yard line for the Jaguars.
3rd and Brewster.
5:39 to go here in this ball game, and even the Jaguars are now letting the play clock run down. They'll burn a timeout, and so the game clock ticks down to 5:30. Timeout on the field by the Jaguars.
Hey, Paul, Joe talking about some defensive teams and how you get the respect up in San Antonio and stuff by not winning games 47, 45, 45, 39, and so on, but start shutting down teams down. You remember a good defense we had in Edinburg back then?
Oh, I remember there's a couple that I played back in the day, and going back to some old days, an old Bobcat defense. We were so stout. It is what it is. We didn't get scored on until the bi-district playoffs. That's the first time that anybody scored on us. But the problem is, one of the many problems that the Valley teams face is they run into speed, just absolute raw speed, and it's tough to match that, gentlemen.
Run into those premier athletes, and it's not just one. It's a couple, and it's 3, and it's 4 playmakers, and you throw in some big D1 linemen that are just right there. But again, the defense, again, gives you the opportunity to go in believing you can win those type of football games.
And like Joe says, Paul, we started getting over these schools that had one just outstanding athlete, or 1 or 2, but we start getting to teams like Steele that had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. That's when we're running into problems now.
Yeah, you're right, gentlemen, because you have let's say 2 to 3 wide receivers with top-notch speed. You have the tailback with top-notch speed. So one mistake, he's gone.
3rd down from the 10-yard line for the Jaguars. Again, we're in Edinburg tonight, 20-0. The Cougars lead the Jaguars. They led 6-0 early and built on that from there. And so here we go on 3rd down for the Jaguars inside their 10. Man in motion left to right. They'll throw. Looking. A lot of time. They'll throw the ball deep over the middle. It's up for grabs and nearly picked off. Defender knocked it away from defender. Incomplete pass.
Hey, Joe, you kind of just,
And a penalty comes in at the end of that.
You can't do nothing much there on that play calling because, you got everybody dropping back. But here we go. It might give them automatic.
It had to be a magic word. It was 2 defenders mad at each other. And because the receiver had already made his way to the sideline, there was nothing but blue jerseys around the official. You talk about things that what do coaches look at in the play clock when they go back and review the film? Oh, stuff like this, they love it. You won 20-0, but look what you did, and look what you did, and look what you did. Get out there and run.
Can you throw a flag, Joe, if I cuss at you and we're in the same team? That's the only thing that could have happened there. Paul, did you see anything else? Maybe the whole players were cussing at each other?
I don't know what it was because there was no Jaguar players around the Cougar defender when they threw that flag. I don't know if it was a mouthpiece. You know what I mean? You have to have the mouthpiece, or they said something verbally. I don't know, but there was no Jaguar players around.
Hey, you might want to bring that up with Coach Gossett when we get a chance. Joe?
I think it was just a simple magic word in front of the official. And again, what the coach was out there screaming about is that he was frustrated and worse at his own player, probably at himself.
Oh, himself.
And he said some things. Okay, so he did, but was there a guy within 30 yards? No. You happened to be there, but could a fan hear it? No. What the heck? I don't know.
Nevertheless, it's going to give him a first down, and you might say it's a little too late, but you never know. We saw last year's game against the Bobcats. We saw last game these two teams played each other. It went down the last second. So again, you never want to wake up somebody that's asleep or just about to die and give them a little ride, because it might happen here. Gave them a first down. It was going to be 4th and Brewster. Now it's 1st and 10.
1st and 10. They'll run the ball to the right-hand side. I want to finish a thought on that. Why the official threw that flag. Couple of yard gain there for the Jaguars. Now here's the flip side. The officials' side of the story. Right? If this is going on at a choir concert and one of them miss a note and they say that word, I'm going to throw a flag. The school expects us to keep these kids in check, magic word or not, anywhere it happens. I don't care if the fans can hear it. I heard it. We don't want the kids saying it ever.
And Paul, we had that last week. Remember when that kid broke it for 70-some yards and there was nobody near him, but at the 20-yard line, somebody did go hit on the back. So, again, referees, keep on doing your job. 2nd and 7 coming up. We're down to 4:40 left in the game.
And with the ball in their hands, the Jaguar offense looking to get something going. Running play right side, and it's a swarm of defenders that time takes him down for a short gain on the play.
Pick up of maybe 3 yards. Call it a 3rd and 4 coming up for the Jags. We're down to 4:20 and counting, ladies and gentlemen. Right now it's been all Cougars. Edinburg North Cougars 20, Jaguars 0. The Cougars looking to go 1-0 in district, 3-0 in the year 2013.
They're making a statement here as well by the way they're doing it, because they took advantage of some situations and let that defense dictate the game from there. Running play for the Jaguars, and that's going to be a 1st down yardage. They'll move the chains out across the 35.
Pablo, move those chains. Here we go. We're going to move it one more time for the Cougars, 1st and 10. And, for the Jaguars, I'm sorry on that play. Good play there for the Jaguars. So it's going to be 1st and 10. And the only bad thing after that 1st down pickup is they're going to run the clock. So we're going to be under 4 minutes left in the game. And it's still Edinburg North Cougars 20 and the Jaguars 0.
Once again on Action 4 tonight, and during the 10 o'clock newscast we'll have interviews, which means I'm going to start putting some stuff away here. I got a trek to make here and try to get ahead of the crowd. Pass play by the Jaguars. Intercepted, and a big hit delivered that time as the pass was let go by Auburn.
It'll stop the clock with 3:46 after the game. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, special thanks going out to valleycenter.com. Joe Bowling, thank you very much for joining us, not only tonight but last night. Hope to see you soon once again later in the season. We're only in our 1st district game, ladies and gentlemen, here in South Texas High School football. It'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up. Ball fell incomplete. It stopped the clock with 3:46 left. Still Edinburg North Cougars 20, Jaguars 0. Here we go. They're at the 36-yard line.
On 2nd and 10 of the game clock at 3:46 after the incompleted pass. They'll run it this time to the right side, and that will go nowhere. Negative yards. They'll finally, they do not. Yeah, they finally blew the play dead.
Yeah, it's going to maybe get a loss of maybe 3 or 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and call it 13 coming up. A lot of frustration starting to come out there, Paul.
You're correct about that, boys. And I was just trying. I was actually straining real hard. I was trying to hear what was going on, and both players and the ref did a good job saying, "Hey guys, break it up, break it up."
All right, fellas, I'm going to be ducking out of here. Leave the last 3:16 to Donut Salinas and Mr. Paul Osbury. A pleasure to do the games with you the last
Same here, Joe.
We'll see you next time.
Once again, special thanks going out to Joe Bowling, joining Donut Salinas and Paul Osbury in Edinburg. Joe, have a safe trip home. Have a good stay dry over there, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you very much, Joe.
Barbecue.
Appreciate
I'll tell you that too. All right, see you, boys.
We'll call you for the tailgating. Here we go. It's going to be 3rd and 15 coming up for the Jaguars. We're down to under 2:50 left in the game. Cougars jump off sides. We had contact made by number 55, so it's going to be an enforcement to stop the play. No. I'm sorry, it's going to go against the Jags. Apparently he was drawn outside. There was movement. So it's going to be now 3rd and 20. Pablo, give me a play-by-play from down there.
You got it, Joe. Great view from the end zone view right here. Well, you can see, at least from my point of view, the Cougars are really stacked in the box. That means they have just an overwhelming number of guys to stop the run, because at this point, the Jaguars have got their backs against the wall. So they're just bringing everybody. There's no lanes. You can see it here. Here we go. Tap it up. He's going to hand off to the tailback and sweep going outside, but he's not going to make it because, again, number 44, tremendous job of securing the edge, Jonah. You know we talked about that edge.
Yeah, you don't get outside to the outside, you ain't going nowhere. A loss of maybe 4 or 5 yards. Bring up a fourth and call it 20, 4th and 20, 4th and 24.
Fourth and San Isidro.
4th and San Isidro, says Paul Osbury. Here we go. It's going to be, now, Paul, you got to punt the ball.
You have to. I mean, you have to. You don't want to give him the ball. And you're just kind of hoping and praying that the Cougars go ahead and run out the clock. But you do got to punt it. Here we go. Looks like a good snap. He's going to get it. He's got time. Get it off. He does get it off. Little wobbly kick down the middle of the field. He's going to field it. He's got a chance. He's got a chance. He's going to get outside. You know about to get outside. Oh, he cut it back inside. There you go, Donut. You got it.
It takes him down to about already on the Jaguar side of the field. The classic Roy Garza. I know, I guarantee you, more than likely just going to run out the clock. And there's no problem in doing it when you have a 1st and 10 with only 1:36 left. So, well, you know what, Paul? I'm talking about Roy Garza. I'm going to give a little shout out to his number 1 fan. His number 1 fan is Brisa. Brisa is his granddaughter, and he says you can ask anybody in the world. That's his number 1 fan. So a little shout out going out to Brisa. Hey, Grandpa doing a good job on his 1st district game. Also going out to his wife. Hello, hey. Like I said, I saw you on a Tuesday night spending time with Coach Garza, and it seems to me the only place you're going to be with Coach Garza is going to be at the school or scouting a game, like you say. But once again, enjoy the golf game that Coach Garza is teaching you. You hope you all get a safe trip home. And Coach Garza, congratulations. It looks like it's in order now.
Here you go, Cougars in the shotgun. They're going to probably run out the clock. Snap the ball. Sure enough, it is a dive. Donut, as soon as this play ends, give me a chance. I want to get a little shout out from the Edinburg North student section. After this next play, give me a chance. All right,
I'm going to do that, Paul. We're going to turn it over to Paul. Let him know on the camera, Paul. Let him know on the camera that we're going to go to the student section. And Alva is a little shaken up on the play. And again, Joe brought that up. That's the worst thing you could have was if somebody come up getting hurt with under a minute left or close to a minute left in the game when you're up 20-0. Hopefully it's just going to be, a little spot where he got hit and it was uncomfortable. He seems to be okay. They're still checking him on the sidelines. Here we go. It's 2nd and 9 coming up. We're under 1 minute.
Donna, you can hear them. The student section, they're feeling it, man. Cougars fans in the house. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. They're loving it tonight, Cougars. Great job.
Here we go. Back to us. Paul, we're going to do that one more time. Here we go, Paul. Take it one more time. Take it.
All right, let's do it some more. Let's go cheer up on the students over here. One more time, Cougars. Cougars, let's hear it. Come on, let me hear you guys. You hear them, don't it? You see them on the screen. You see them live, baby.
Hey, Coach David Johnson, good. David Gonzalez, good job, buddy. Coach Gonzalez just passing right through the back. Hey, Paul, great job. We're going to get back to the field. You're going to take us to the play. It is 3rd, 19 seconds left. Remember, you got to get it with Coach Garza after the game, Paul.
I'm ready. I couldn't help but enjoy the feeling and the energy from the student section. Going undefeated for the Cougars. You can see them in the stands. They're totally wild. They love their Cougars.
Paul, I'm going to have one more question, Paul. What would you say if I would tell you you're going to start 3-0, you're going to win the first game of the week for Channel 4 and Channel 5, and if you're a coach for Edinburg North, ¿qué dices, Pablo?
¿Qué más quieres?
So once again, Edinburg North Cougars take the 1st district game, the first game of the week, by the score of 20-0. Congratulations, hats off going out to all the coaching staff for the Edinburg North Cougars. Once again, it is the Edinburg North Cougars 20 and the Jaguars 0. So we're going to go to some action to Paul on the field. Hopefully we're going to have Roy Garza in the stands. For right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Donald Salinas, Paul Osbury, Joe Bowling. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have maybe 1 more minute on the air to get a few words from Coach Garza and Paul. I hope you
Hopefully I get a chance.
Paul, how good is it going to look next week, Paul? Is this the kind of beating or the kind of thing that you were hoping it would happen as on the side of Mike Salinas?
I don't know. The Jaguars, got beat. They didn't get whooped. They got beat. They got beat physically. They certainly got beat on the scoreboard. But knowing the Jaguars, they're going to rebound. I don't know It's going to be a good one, but I don't think that the SaberCats gained any psychological edge on this one.
Yeah, they had their life. They had their chances. They had their moments. But what happened there is that these big mistakes ended up coming back to hurt them, Paul.
I'm walking up to Coach Carter to see if I can get him.
I got you. Here we go. Can we go to Paul, please? Can we go to Paul? And hopefully we're going to get Coach Garza here. All right,
Coach Garza, gotta feel good. Going 3-0, obviously 1-0 in district. A solid victory. I see the smile on your face. How do you feel tonight?
Awesome. That defense, showed up like they usually do. Made that big stop. Kept the game at 3. Then we scored that first year. Like I said, if we did that, we're going to be comfortable. A couple of quirks here at the end, dropped balls and all that, but overall, very satisfied.
Coach, I got to ask you, there was a couple times you were almost all the way out on the field fighting for your team. What were you saying?
It just gets a little frustrating with some silly fouls, some silly calls, giving that extra series, spiking the ball. It's just frustrating to get the pick, but, those are the things we're going to correct. But
Coach, great job. It's clear. It's obvious you run a great program. Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Donut.
Hey, Paul Osbury, great job on the field, Paul. Let me tell you, it looks great. It sounds great. So once again, Paul Osbury, Joe Bowling, Donut Salinas saying good night to everybody. We'll see you next week on Thursday. For right now, everybody have a safe trip home. And Donut Salinas saying good night.